The following is a Just Green production.
Hello, everyone.
You missed the mark. God damn it.
You're off to a horrible
You
start.
missed it.
I hate you guys.
start.
This show just started,
All right.
and you're already giving me a hard.
Ready to go.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. It's February 26, 2018, Episode 7, Season 3. This might be news to you.
Jesus Christ.
Yo,
Oh, it's so bad.
I can hear you breathing. I'm Kevin Kinderman. Yeah. Yo, follow us on Twitter at MightBeNews247. That's MightBeNews247. Welcome to Might Be News. My name is Taylor Cooper. Say what up, Kev.
Yo, guys, I hope you don't hate on me like these guys do.
You're so weird. Say what up, Danny.
What's up?
Wow. That was an instant classic. This episode is an instant classic
Yo,
already.
You killed that, dude.
That was good.
Not in a good way.
I mean, you need practice.
Not in a good way.
Maybe you should have practiced that but instead of just winging it.
You
But,
told me to shoot for the stars, and I
wow.
did.
Wow. That was brutally honest. Jesus Christ.
Can we do a take two?
You have a future in wrestling. That's what it sounded like. Kev Kinderman. This might be news to you.
This might be news to you.
Wow. It's very well done in a pretty bad way. Wow. I mean, that in itself to me was good news.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's incredible, Kev. I'm very proud of you. Again, in a pretty bad way. All right. So, Season 3, Episode 7, we're hyped to be here. Here's some good news.
Hey, did you hear the news?
This better be good.
Want the good news or the bad news?
Give me the good stuff.
All right, Danny, what do you got for us this week?
All right. West Point posthumously. Is that how we said it? Posthumously accepts a fallen Parkland Junior ROTC student into its academy.
Kev, you are retarded. What is wrong with you?
Go ahead. Are you done?
Yeah. Posthumously isn't even a bad word. What's wrong with you? Oh my God.
Oh,
Danny,
man.
Danny, please continue.
Oh.
This
Jesus
episode
Christ,
is
dude,
shot.
Stop.
Kev's just over there basically having a seizure because he's laughing so
He's turning red. All right. So
Oh my God, Kev, get it together because I can't stop laughing because you're an idiot. Oh my God.
Go ahead.
The U.S. Army West Point Academy has appointed fallen Parkland Junior ROTC student Peter Wang.
Oh my God. Are you serious? Are you serious? Shut the fuck up, Kev. You're an idiot. He said Wang. God.
I was going to warn you.
Yeah, that's what you were going to warn us about
Yes.
off the air? Oh
Yes.
my God. Get it
Go ahead.
together.
All right.
Jesus, dude. So, the U.S. Army West Point Academy has appointed fallen Parkland Junior ROTC student Peter Wang to its class of 2025. Brittany Wallman of the Florida Sun Sentinel reports. Wang, a member of the Junior ROTC program at his high school, was shot while trying to hold the door of his classmates closed to protect his fellow students. He was killed along with 16 others. So this was one of the kids that was killed down in Parkland, Florida. One of his lifelong goals was to go to West Point and join the academy. Fortunately, he passed away, but the West Point has decided to still appoint him to that class and fulfill his lifelong dream.
That is awesome. I don't mean to laugh, but no, that is really cool.
In Kev's defense, he laughed before he knew anything about the story.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
My second story, a female high school senior disarmed a male student who came at her with a knife. The girl was in the bathroom of her high school in Carmel, Indiana, just north of Indianapolis on Thursday afternoon, when a male student came in with a knife and tried to attack her in the bathroom. The female student, who is a black belt in Taekwondo, was able to defend herself against the attempted attacker and take away the boy's knife. "I'm no hero, I just resorted to what I've learned," the female told me. Neither student identified has been released. The male suspect was taken into the County Juvenile Detention Center and is facing multiple charges. This dude picked the wrong chick to mess with.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And my last story is coming out of Sacramento, California. A man is accused of trying to lure 2 underage girls to New York with the promise of jobs in entertainment and modeling. But a quick-thinking American Airlines ticket agent is being credited with keeping the girls safe after they were just one free flight away from meeting a suspected human trafficker. Denise Miracle. That's a cool last name, and she saved these girls.
Wow.
Denise Miracle said red flags went up when the girls, ages 17 and 15, approached her at the ticket counter at the Sacramento International Airport. Armed with two first-class tickets, the girls were intent on getting on their flights with a small set of bags. With no adult supervision and no identification, Miracle thought trouble might be the girls' final destination. Miracle discovered the girls' flights were either one-way or multi-stop tickets paid for with a fraudulent credit card. The ticket agent called the Sacramento County Sheriff's deputies, who soon learned the girls had been furnished the plane's tickets by a man they met on Instagram. The man they call Dre allegedly told the girls that they could earn $2,000 doing some modeling and by performing in music videos. But investigators said the flight could have altered the girls' lives forever after they traveled to the airport without their parents' knowledge. With deputies pointed out the tickets were the one-way flight, the girls looked shocked, according to deputies. The girls were reunited with their parents and were told by investigators their daughters nearly became victims of human trafficking.
Wow.
She was just doing her job and realized that something was a little off. And she started looking into it more and found out that they were going to be human trafficking.
How old were they?
15 and 17.
Wow.
It's incredible.
The
Good
girls,
for that lady.
They had no idea that the tickets were one way. They had no idea where they were going, but they just know that, hey, this guy found us on Instagram, said we could make $2,000 a week doing some modeling, and sent the 2 girls first-class tickets.
Wow. That's insane.
Their lives were almost over.
Yeah,
wow.
But this lady, she saved them.
Good for her.
And
Thank God she was around.
My last good news story is the Philadelphia Eagles are still Super Bowl 52 champions.
Wow.
I'm going to say that every time, by the way.
That's good. It's good news for us. Wow. Well, that was an entertaining segment.
Yeah, thanks.
Kev, Jesus Christ.
I was going to warn you, and you told me not to. I should have.
I don't even know how to describe your laugh when you get that amped up. Jesus, you're a weirdo.
I'm a child.
I was in awe of your stupidity.
I couldn't breathe.
I could tell you were over there
Yeah.
like convulsing.
There was
you had like
no-
that like silent laugh,
There was no laugh coming out of your body.
and you were just bright red. I thought you might die.
And your body, I thought you were having a seizure. Your body was shaking, but there was nothing coming out verbally.
Here lies Kevin Kinnerman. He died from hearing the word wang. Got 2 kids at home. Somebody said wang around Kev, and he died. Unbelievable.
I had to explain. Here you go. I had to explain to Cole the other day that dick isn't just a bad word. It's also somebody's name.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You love that with kids, trying to explain that kind of stuff.
So, first of all, I want to just say that last week was a little heavy, and I realized that people probably don't typically tune into our show to hear that kind of stuff. They probably tune into our show to avoid stuff like that, which is great. But I felt like it was a serious conversation that, I think we just needed to address because all of us here at this table have different opinions on things, which is great.
Well, it's nice to have conversations like that rather than on Facebook because you can't really tell, somebody's personality when they're talking on Facebook rather than talking to person and actually sit down and have a decent conversation without screaming and yelling and
Without somebody saying that you're a dirtbag and
exactly.
Yeah, dude, because people are so quick to just call people names on Facebook because they don't agree with their opinion.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
It is. I mean, and I hope that we don't sound like we're talking down on anyone else's opinions on this show. I don't think we have, or I don't think we do. But it just happened, and we wanted to kind of cover that. But and I want to give a little update. But before I do, we'll keep it light for a minute. Have you guys watched anything new recently? Seen anything new?
I started watching this new Netflix original, Everything Sucks.
Everything Sucks.
Yeah, it's just a sitcom TV show type deal, 20-minute episodes, but it's kids in high school in the 90s. I mean, it's entertaining. It's
Okay.
it's chill.
Yeah.
Just something to turn on when
Is
there's
it
nothing else
It's
on.
a comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comedy, drama.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's all right.
Good.
It's all right.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
Not for everybody, but it was okay for me.
Danny, have you watched anything new? Anything?
I mean, besides the Netflix shows that I've been watching, I finally finished Punisher. I've been watching a lot of the Olympics and a lot of Philadelphia sports lately because they've been a lot of fun to watch lately.
Yeah, they have been a lot of fun to watch.
I mean, I'm not crediting the Eagles, but it's just a coincidence that since the Eagles won the Super Bowl, every team has been winning. The
Yeah.
Flyers and the Sixers.
Yep.
It almost energized the other teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Absolutely.
The
Energize
Flyers
the
are
other
winning. They're
teams.
1 point out of first place?
3 points out of first place.
Oh, is it 3?
Three game and a half out of first place.
That's what it is. A game
Yeah.
and a half out of first place.
Yep.
The 76ers are doing great. They just had a nice win last night. I mean, it's just
Yeah. We were at the Flyers game last night, and it was awesome. A lot of fun. They won against the Blue Jackets 2-1. Jackie and I went down there. It was a lot of fun. We're going to a Sixers game soon too.
Nice.
Trying to go 4 for 4 this year. We went to an Eagles game earlier when they played the Bears. Flyers now, Sixers next, and then Phillies this summer.
Nice.
Bang!
Oh, I did watch a new movie. I watched a movie this week, Happy Death Day.
Oh yeah,
Allison
like
watched
a
that.
Groundhog's Day type movie.
Yeah.
It was good. I got let's say half hour into it, and I was like, I dig this movie. And then I'm 45 minutes into it, and I was like, this is getting kind of old and starting to suck. And then I got to the end, and I was like, wow, mind blown.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Really good ending, mediocre beginning, or mediocre middle, and all right beginning.
Decent. That was probably the best review I've ever heard you give anything. Not grade, but just you articulated yourself well, Kev.
Oh, thanks.
You could have used that as your late review last week.
Yeah.
I
Could have
didn't
done
watch it till
something.
this week.
Oh, never mind.
For those of you just tuning in, Kev absolutely sucked last week. It was miserable. Oh
Yeah,
my
from the half
God.
point on, it was just
all the way downhill for Kev. Anyway, I watched. Jackie and I have been watching a lot of Brooklyn Nine-Nine on
Yeah.
Hulu. I love it.
It's a great
we
show.
love it. It's really funny.
It's a great show.
It's really funny. I think what's the main guy's name? Adam Sandberg. Is that his name?
Andy Sandberg.
Andy Sandberg.
Yeah.
He gets a little old to me sometimes.
He is
just
a
'cause
little over the top.
He's really goofy, but everybody else kills it in that show. He does too, but there's just times where it's just all right, I've kind of had enough of Jake Peralta. But it's a really good show. I think it's hysterical. You should check it out. But Jackie and I went and saw Black Panther last weekend. It was phenomenal.
Dude, it's already made its money and surpassing the amount of money that it
It's-
expected to make.
It's a cultural spectacle. It's unbelievable.
See, I'm on the edge of not wanting to see it because I'm so Marveled movied out, but as good as the reviews are for
It's
it
really good.
makes me want to see it.
Well, it's different than the other ones, than the other Marvel movies, because he's just a totally different character. He's straight up the king of a fucking kingdom. that nobody knows exists. Well, I mean, like they know it's there, but they don't know what it is. Like they got crazy technology and all this shit that they hide from the world. And Michael B. Jordan plays the villain. His name is Killmonger.
Is that why he's all over the place right now?
Yeah, because he killed it.
He's
Gotcha.
a great actor.
He's a great actor, and also they just announced the Creed 2's coming.
Oh,
Creed 2. So
okay.
he's like going to be even further everywhere.
And that's why what's his face?
Sylvester Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone is seeing a lot with him right now
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, because they're doing Creed 2.
Yeah.
So, but he absolutely was. I don't know if I can say that he was my favorite villain so far in the Marvel movies, but he's definitely in the top like 2 or 3 for sure. I'm really excited to see Infinity War with Thanos. I know he's going to be hard as shit, but I mean, Michael B. Jordan killed it. The guy who played Black Panther absolutely killed it too. It was really good. And like, there's like charities taking all these underprivileged kids and Boys and Girl Club places and stuff are all taking these kids to this movie. It's like it's a big deal. I mean, not only is it a black superhero, but he's a king. He's a straight up king. It's a pretty crazy story too. I liked it. I don't want to give any spoilers away. Go see it. But as we were talking about with the gun stuff, just a little update on that because it's been a very fast moving story, and I just want to get your guys' opinion on a couple of things. So this past week, there's been a lot of talk about raising the minimum age to buy a gun to 21, shortening the mag size.
I absolutely 100% agree with that. Shortening the mag size.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that. For the simple fact that I do not think that people shouldn't be allowed to own ARs or assault rifles of any sort. If somebody wants to claim that I don't think that they should their rights should be taken away by not letting people buy them. But if you want to sit there and claim that ARs are for hunting,
yeah,
do you really need more than 3 rounds in your clip if they're for hunting? Dan, I know you're a big gun guy. What do you have to say about it?
The whole raising the age thing to 21, how's that going to affect the military?
Right. That's one of the biggest questions.
I haven't looked
facing
into
that.
this, but you can be 18 and enlist.
I believe I read somewhere that if you join the military, then this does not apply to you.
Okay.
Null and void.
Okay.
I'm not 100%. I mean, they're still working on all this, and none of this is final.
Well, people in the military, well, if you're enlisted in the military, you have rights to have an automatic weapon.
Right.
Not as a personal weapon, but your combat weapon is an automatic weapon.
Right.
And it's your weapon. It's yours.
Yeah, it's yours, but as soon as you're out of the military, you're not allowed to take that automatic weapon with you.
No.
Correct?
I mean,
Because it's an automatic weapon and you're a
Right.
civilian at that point.
Yeah. Another thing they're talking about is putting teachers through training and arming the teachers.
Dude, I fully disagree with that.
I'm the complete opposite. I fully agree 100% with this.
That's great because I'm right down the middle on this.
What don't you like about that?
I've talked to my sister about it. She's a teacher. She teaches 4th grade. Never mind. I don't want to go into the school district, but could you imagine like the English department? I mean, not a police person, but I was talking to somebody, another friend of mine. He said he couldn't imagine his English department toting guns because half of them sitting there pulling the trigger would get it blown out of their hand.
It's not going to be like mandatory. Like you're a teacher, you have to carry a gun. Like I know somebody. I'm not going to mention any names. How I know them, but he is a former Marine, and he is big into hunting. And I know that if you went to him and you said, "Hey, we're going to allow you to conceal carry in school.
So it has to be on his person at all times.
Absolutely. You are required to take an active shooter class, and you are required to take the mandatory classes to carry that gun and get your license. And like President Trump said, there will be a little bit of a bonus in his paycheck for doing so, which I completely agree with.
So you believe that the teachers should be given an option, not a mandatory them
Oh,
carry?
No one's saying this is mandatory.
It cannot be
No.
mandatory.
Okay.
But if you go to these, like, I know plenty of teachers that enjoy hunting and enjoy shooting guns. And if you tell them, hey, you have the opportunity to conceal carry and protect your kids, will you do it? 90% of them are going to say absolutely.
Okay. I can
And
dig that.
If you do have a school that has these teachers that are concealed carrying, that information is relayed to the local police stations. So God forbid, if there is something going on at that school, they can pull up that school and they can say, all right, on the second floor, we have Mr. A's class, and Mr. A is concealed carrying. Mr. B in the West Wing is concealed carrying. And they have a full list of these teachers that are concealed carrying. And somebody raised the point, it was on Facebook, and they said, everybody wants to arm these teachers. So what happens when the SWAT gets there and they set up their posts and they get ready and then they see all these teachers with guns? Well, guess what? The SWAT doesn't have to do anything, because if there's an active shooter in that school, those teachers are going to take matters into their own hands.
Until situation is
so-
taken care of.
Exactly, because the average time it takes the police officers to get on scene, to stage, to get set up is roughly 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, SWAT isn't always just sitting around the station waiting, ready to go.
Well, let me just say real quick, because I do want to keep this brief as we can. But my biggest concern with this is, all right. So what happens if there's a kid that is perceived as a threat by a teacher that's carrying, and this teacher makes a mistake, shoots this kid? I mean, what happens then?
It's just
You see it with the police.
Hold
You
on.
see
Hold
it-
on.
You see it with hold on. You see it with these police officers that are afraid for their lives, and they shoot somebody, and they kill them. What happens if a teacher does that to a kid?
It wouldn't happen.
You don't know that, because
No, I do know that, because to have your carrying, when you do have your carrying conceal, and I have my carrying conceal, if I'm in a store or something and that store is getting robbed, technically I am not allowed to unholster my weapon until my life is threatened. Period. Till that gun crosses my path and is pointed directly at me, I am not allowed to unholster my weapon.
But that doesn't stop everyone from doing that.
No, but the average person that does have their concealed carry, they know that you're not taking that gun out unless you have the intent to kill. So
Listen,
now
I totally understand
say
that.
there's an altercation going on in the school.
Right.
All right. Your teacher's not going to pull.
No. I understand that the average person, I'm a logical person and a reasonable person. I understand that the average person would handle it correctly. I'm referring to the smaller percentage that might not.
Then they
Just
are
like
not
the
allowed
cops.
they're not allowed to carry.
But there's cops that shouldn't be cops. We can agree on that. Correct?
That's a completely different subject.
It is, but it isn't.
Yeah.
Not in this situation. You're talking about giving someone a gun and permission to use it if they need to.
Only-
That's the same thing.
Only in a matter that somebody's life is in danger.
Right.
If somebody comes into that school
I
and
understand.
they're toting an AR, guess what? You're going to pull and you're going to shoot.
Right. No, I understand that. I'm not disagreeing with you there at all. I'm looking at the worst case scenario. I'm looking at what if.
You mean like a fight breaking out?
Say, all right, say this kid comes into school talking shit. Like, I'm going to kill everyone. And this teacher who's carrying sees this kid and hears this kid, and the kid's reaching into his backpack. And before anything can happen, that teacher pulls it out and shoots him or her. Then it turns out that this kid has nothing. What happens?
The threat should not be terminated until
Because that's kind of like what happens with some of these cops. They feel threatened. They make a choice.
I understand that, but that cop is putting his life in danger every time he goes
I
out
agree,
there.
but now this teacher kind of technically is too now.
Well, yes and no. I mean, these teachers are going to have to go through these classes
Right.
in order to be able to carry. There is a specific license you have to have if you're carrying on the job site. They're going to have to do that.
Right.
The teacher should not be even reaching unless they physically see
Right.
a weapon.
In a perfect world, I totally agree with you.
Okay.
The average teacher would handle it correctly. I
And
agree.
That's why.
That's why I'm like on the fence with this.
Yeah,
is because I totally feel like schools absolutely need better security. Like absolutely, one way or the other. Whether it's like armed guards, station places, or like because like in our high school, I know a bunch of teachers just not even by knowing them, but just knowing them as teachers who would probably be totally down to do that and protect the school and do it correctly. But I'm talking about like some backwood ass school somewhere that like it's just the guy's not qualified, slips through the cracks or something.
well,
And a mistake happens. One of the 18 crazy, stupid, statistics school shootings we were talking about last week. One of them was a accidental discharge by a guard of some kind.
that was the cop sitting on the bleachers.
Non-lethal. Everything was fine, luckily. But
Well,
like that's
first
a
off-
freak accident.
First off, there was no reason that gun should have been with its trigger exposed.
Yeah, I agree.
No way. I don't even know how that happens.
Just slip through the cracks. That's what I'm referring to, and that's what kind of keeps me from just jumping all in gung ho. Because I'll be honest, I'm happy that there's a conversation going nationwide right now about this. I know that we can all agree that on social media it can get a little hot and heavy. But like, I'm happy that there's at least the ball feels like it's moving somewhere in some kind of direction. I just hope, I don't know. The whole thing bugs me out.
I mean, you can always do these, psychic evaluations and, making sure that these teachers know what they're doing and you're not just going to give it to, the 80-year-old art teacher.
Yeah. I mean, it's
No.
got to be done correctly.
But I'm on board.
Because the police, apparently, just real quick, we're going to move on to the next subject.
This angers the shit out of me.
This
what you're
guy,
gonna say.
Scott Peterson, he was a police officer down there. He was the first to respond to this. He got there basically, or he was like stationed outside.
He was in the school. He was the school's police officer.
He was there, and he was there right outside for 4 minutes while the shooting was happening, and he didn't do anything.
He
Nothing.
never entered the building.
Never entered the building. He resigned. He was eligible for retirement. Like, he was on the force for 30 years. Just unbelievable. So, all right, moving on. Something a little different. We've talked on the show before about the possibilities of immortality. Right? We talked about like the forever pill was one thing.
yeah,
I mean, not
that's
that that's
season
a,
one.
was that all the way back there?
Yeah.
No. Was
Yes,
it?
yes,
Yeah, we didn't talk about it with me.
season
God,
one.
We keep bringing up season one, because
It's
a
hot
lot
trash.
of shit, a lot of shit
Hot
that we,
trash, dude.
that shit was. Well, first of all, it's like a phantom season. No one will be able to like listen to it. You know what? I made it like available for download, so it's possible that like one person might have downloaded every episode, but I doubt it. It's gone. Anyway, we talked about doctors have been working tirelessly as technology has advanced to obviously cure diseases and do different things. And then the end result is more or less allowing us as human beings to live forever. Well, certainly longer, right? This guy, Ian Pearson. He's a former rocket scientist. Pretty important, I guess. Pretty important guy in this like general field. Predicts that the human race will achieve immortality roughly by the year 2050.
I don't like it.
There's 3 ways that this can happen, according to this guy. Number one, which is more or less the most realistic, I guess, is there's scientists working on regenerative therapies. Basically, what that means, they're working with different lizards. There's one, I forget what it is, but it's this cute little thing, and it can regrow limbs and organs, including parts of its brain, up to and over 100 times.
What?
It's basically completely immune to cancer because its body just, parts of its body just dies and goes away and regenerates, regrows. If some part of its body gets cancer, it just basically detaches itself and dies, and then it regrows. His organ regrows.
I got cancer in my arm. Let me just shake my arm off and grow a new
I
one.
saw it on the internet. The thing, it was just regrowing its legs and regrowing its eyeball and shit.
Get the fuck out of
It
here.
was wild. It's it had a really weird name. It started with an A. I'm sorry, I meant to write it down. But it's in the salamander family because they injected this thing with a little bit of iodine, and it literally transformed into a salamander. It was wild. Watch it anyway. Regenerative therapies. They're trying to basically find a way to make our organs and things like that be able to grow, regenerate. If there's if I got sick, my body would be able to make itself better, faster, and
Stronger.
almost instantly. Yeah. The next thing is android bodies. Scientists are working on ways to basically implant our consciousness into robots.
That's absolutely ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
Into robots.
There's already enough people in this world as it is.
Right. But now there's going to be a elite robot force.
People are just going to start falling off the edges of the world because it's flat and there's too many people.
Well, hopefully people just keep eating Tide Pods.
Oh, shit.
Then the third and least likely is literally the Matrix. They are developing ways to, again, transfer our consciousness basically into a virtual reality experience, like a computer program, we're straight up in it.
All right, I'm down with that as long as I'm on Neo's ship, and I'm going to learn how to play guitar first, and then I'm going to teach myself karate. Yo.
The thing about that is I would want to know, so do I, you remember playing Doom as a kid?
Yeah.
You had God mode where your eyes just went blank and you couldn't die.
Yeah.
So how would that work? In Call of Duty, you just respawn, right?
Yeah.
So what is that? How I would live the rest of my life? I could pretty much do whatever I want. Probably feel pain, but just hit the square button and fucking respawn.
But there'd be so many people doing dumb shit.
Right.
I'm late for work. Guess what? I'm gonna do $150 down the bypass because I know if I crash,
People
I'm not gonna die.
People just straight up chowing down on Tide Pods. It's straight up eating the fuck out of Tide Pods.
Tide Pods for dinner. Tide Pods for dinner.
Yeah, fuck it. I can just do this and respawn. I don't know. That shit would be kind of crazy. Last thing I have before we take a break. They announced this week that net neutrality is officially ending April 23rd. So, there's that. You guys have anything cool to add? How hype would you be if you could just regrow parts of your body?
I wouldn't be hype at all. I think it'd be kind of weird.
It looks weird.
Do they regrow the same size?
Yeah, do you have a little midget hand sticking out of your torso?
Until it's fully grown back, yeah, I assume so. I mean,
And
I don't
how
think
long would it
I don't
take?
think it just pops out.
Yeah.
I think it's you at least got to let it marinate.
Like Deadpool when his arm gets cut off or his hand. it comes
exactly.
back
It's
as a
like this
tiny
little baby hand at first. Yeah,
I'm gonna jerk off because I'm gonna feel huge.
yeah. I mean, you're gonna have to wait a little while. I would assume
Like 6 minutes, a little while,
No.
or like 6 months.
maybe 6 days.
I mean, I can't be going into work on Monday when my little hand sticking out of my torso can't even work my mouse.
It's true. Have to be ambidextrous. I don't know. That's just wild. I was reading about it. There's a bunch of crazy stuff going on in science these days. I found this one article that was total clickbait, and I was just kind of blown away by how stupid it was. But it was a National Geographic article, and it said a earthquake swarm was hitting Yellowstone National Park, where that super volcano is.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, that doesn't sound good. And I opened it up, and they said there's been hundreds of earthquakes around this super volcano. And then, there's an advertisement, and then the next thing is but don't worry, that happens all the time. I'm like, then why did you fucking write this article? Why did you write this article if it happens every day? Right? Why wouldn't you just start with that? Don't worry about it. There's a bunch of earthquakes. Here's some information, but it's all good. It's all good. This volcano isn't supposed to erupt for another couple 100,000 years. It's all good. They just started off with, there's an earthquake swarm.
An earthquake swarm.
Is that the official term?
That's yes. That's what it said. An earthquake swarm, and I was immediately alarmed. Enough so certainly to click the article and read for literally 3 seconds before I was like, oh, geez, it doesn't matter, apparently. Thank you, National Geographic. Great pictures, terrible articles. All right, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back with a very cool What's the Point? I have something very special, something fun to talk about. So we'll be right back.
Ooh.
Welcome back.
To Might Be News.
Might be news. I'm co-host Kev.
Yeah. I cannot wait to listen to this episode all over again.
Yeah. When we took a break, I went back and I listened to the first half, just the first little bit again. It's just, I'm still in awe of your laugh, Kev, and how just childish your sense of humor is. But it's just great how innocent you can be.
My late review is this episode.
Wow,
That's funny.
wow.
No, I'm playing.
All right. Well, we're running out of time and we still have a lot of ground to cover. So here's what's the point. What's the point?
Is there a point to this?
What is your
Are
point?
you just gonna sit there and look stupid?
All right, Kev, what's your point this week?
I'm just going to keep my point short, sweet. I am super excited for it. Bert Kreischer is coming to town. Well, is in town. He did his show Thursday,
Okay.
Friday, Saturday, which I'm going to tomorrow.
You're a big fan of this guy.
Oh, dude, I'm
You've,
a huge fan.
You've
of
read
this
his
guy.
book and stuff.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
and all that stuff.
Watched several stand-up skits, and yeah, he is recording his Netflix special at the Trocadero, and I have tickets to go see this guy. I am super excited about it,
That's awesome.
dude. It is going to be a blast. If you have not heard of Bert Kreischer, you need to look him up. He is the host of Trip Flip on the Travel Channel, and It's just the storytelling comedy that it's amazing. It's amazing. If you haven't heard of him, look him up. Bert Kreischer. His book, Life's a Party. His Netflix special, Party Hard, is to release in January, or March or June.
You're going to be at the show that he's recording at.
Yeah, so the laughter that you hear on this episode, you're going to hear in the crowd.
Oh my God! Please, are you serious? Oh,
No,
do that.
I don't know if the
They
one that
might
I'm
kick
going
you
to.
out.
Yeah, they might.
They might kick
They
you
might.
out. If they're recording that, they might kick you out. Either that or you're going to become part of the show because he's just going to make
key
fun
on
of you.
that. He'll key on
Wow. He's going to search you out. Like, who the fuck made that horrible noise just now? Danny, what's your point?
So I had 1 point set up for tonight, but then I changed it because I had a hell of an experience tonight. So my wife and I decided we were going to go out to dinner, treat the boys, Friday night. And we had a horrible experience. So we first wanted to go to Outback Steakhouse. So we called for the call-ahead seating, said, we want to do 6:30. And they said, well, you can come in at 6:30, but there's another party coming, so you probably won't sit down till after 7. Nope. So we went to Texas Roadhouse instead.
Ugh.
So we get there. we did the call-ahead seating, 6:30, 10 people. And the guy said, oh, sure, that's no problem. So we get there, and we check in. We ended up waiting a half hour still.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. So the lady's walking us back to our table, and she sits us in 2 booths across from each other. Like there's a fucking aisle in between us. So here we are going out to dinner, and we don't even get to fucking sit together.
Wow.
All right, so that was red flag number 2. Dinner was fine, whatever. Red flag number 3 was when we waited 45 minutes for our fucking check.
Wow.
45 minutes.
For the check.
For the check. Well, also, we didn't have one server. It was 2 separate servers.
Wow.
So the people over here in this booth are getting their drinks and they're getting their appetizers and eating, and we're still sitting here waiting for my fucking beer from the bar.
Wow.
And
I would've,
That's probably sitting on the bar getting warm.
yeah, it was. And it was just such a shitty experience. And then we're waiting for the checks. And I said to the guy that was our waiter, I said, listen, I need the check for my wife who's sitting across from me, my son who's sitting to the right, and my other son who's sitting at the other table. And he goes, well, we can't split checks up like that because it's 2 separate servers. Listen, buddy, not my problem.
Yeah, for real. That's insanity, dude. I would have freaked the fuck out.
So we finally got our checks, and then my mother-in-law was waiting for her check. Well, here, they had ran somebody's debit card wrong. They ended up paying for their meal instead of their own. So then they finally brought her check over 45 minutes later, and nothing on that check was what she ordered.
Bottom line, you need to complain to corporate.
Oh, we're going to.
Yeah.
A few waitresses even pulled us aside and said, you need to go and do something about this because it's horrible. So my mother-in-law was like, well, I didn't order any of this stuff. She goes, yeah, well, we just had to put items into the computer system to generate a receipt, but they're all the same price of the stuff that you got.
Yeah, bullshit.
Are you kidding me?
Fuck that.
I mean, it was such a shitty, like, we just wanted a nice meal out, and it turned into this big fucking headache. Got there at 6:15, 6:20, and I was texting you guys. We didn't leave till 8:45.
Jesus.
Dude, you should have went a little further down the street to the IHOP that just opened.
We wanted to. Or, I mean, we thought about it, but it was such a shitty experience. My steak was good. I got to pick my steak out from the glass case, but it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible.
That sucks. My point this week is kind of crazy. I came across a story on BBC News.
Big black cock.
Don't get Kev started. He really might. He literally might die in this episode. I'll just title it "The Death of Kev." So the title of this story is the fourth U.S. man dies honeyed hunting for buried $2 million treasure.
Treasure chest.
There's a treasure chest.
Oh, shoot.
Real life treasure hunt. This guy, Forrest Fenn, put treasure out there. A U.S. man fell to his death while searching for buried treasure in the Rocky Mountains. He's the fourth person to die on the hunt. Jeff Murphy was 53. He drove his car to Yellowstone National Park from his home in Illinois to seek the treasure. He had been looking for the stash of gold and jewels allegedly hidden by a wealthy 86-year-old art dealer. That's Forrest Fenn. Officials determined that Murphy fell 500 feet to his death.
That's a long way to fall.
Let's see. He was found the next day. Murphy was seeking the fortune of New Mexico millionaire Forrest Fenn. The antiques dealer wrote a 24-line poem in his 2010 memoir that he claimed led to the treasure. Now, I read the poem off air. It's kind of long and weird, but you should look it up. If you're interested in this, you should look it up because this whole thing's wild. The more I look into it, the crazier it gets. Forrest Fenn said that he wanted to encourage people to spend more time outdoors, using the hunt as a way to get the kids off the couch and away from the TV. The chest, he says, is buried above the elevation of 5,000 feet, somewhere in the Rocky Mountains between Santa Fe, New Mexico, and the Canadian border. Treasure, his mysterious poem ends with the lines, "So hear me all and listen good, your effort will be worth the cold. If you are brave and in the wood, I give you the title to the gold." It's crazy, man. This whole thing is absolutely crazy. Let me see. There's a whole bunch of crazy stuff about this.
It'd be funny if there's actually no buried treasure and he just did this as like a fucking practical joke.
It's filled. The treasure chest is apparently filled with $2 million worth of gold nuggets, some as big as eggs, rubies, jewels, ancient Chinese jade carvings, ancient like silver and gold, sculptures and things like that. Like, this is a legitimate thing, and he said it took him 2 trips to do it. Let me just go through. The treasure is above 5,000 feet elevation and under 10,200 feet. It's north of Santa Fe in the Rocky Mountains of New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, or Montana.
That's a big area.
It's a huge area. But apparently, like the
Where's
words,
this dude from?
The guy, Fenn?
Yeah.
He's from New Mexico.
Okay.
It's not in a building or a cemetery. It's not that dangerous to get to. There are 9 clues. There's a starting point. The treasure is likely within 500 feet of the first 2 clues and possibly 200 feet. So this guy, me and Kev were talking about it before the show. I believe that he's watching this either via satellite or he has a GPS tracker because it's still out there, according to him. People have made claims that they found it, but nobody's ever given him any proof that they've gotten it. And he says that it's still there. So, but he has said that numerous people have been within 500 feet of it. And a few people have been within 200 feet of it. Let's see. People are getting clues from his book that he wrote in 2010. And he's given numerous interviews. And wives of these people that have died and family members and stuff have all claimed that it's a hoax and they're mad about it. And this guy, he insists, is like, no, it's not a hoax. This is real. He said that it's about 45 minutes away from the nearest parking lot or road. Like, he parked his car somewhere, and he said that it took him 2 trips to take this stuff where he was putting it, and he did it in an afternoon. So, like, in this website I was just on, I don't know what it is. Just type in Forrest Fenn treasure. Just type it in. You'll find a whole bunch of shit about this. It's really, really crazy. But the website I'm on is called Fen Clues, and it's got the whole poem on there. It's got hints, clues, different links to different interviews, different things. But this is like a really crazy story. Like, and the craziest thing about it is that this guy, the most recent guy who died, trying to find it, Forrest Fenn, he was in contact with this guy in the days prior to his death. Like he was emailing, they were emailing back and forth about like the clues and things like that. And when Forrest Fenn found out that he was missing, he offered to pay for police helicopters and, better search and rescue things. This guy's super rich, 87 years old, and super rich, and is trying to just get people out on an adventure. But he can't come to find out that this guy was nowhere near the treasure. He's like, I'd never been to that part of wherever he was when he died. So, like, can you imagine just, like, finding out, like, oh, geez, he was, like, nowhere near it. Like, not even close.
And he was the fourth person to die?
Fourth person that died.
Jesus.
Since, like, 2010-ish, trying to find this stuff. Somewhere in the mountains. And he said, he's like, it's nowhere that I couldn't get to. Like, I put it where it is. He was, like, 80 when he did it. You know what I mean? Like, he was 80 years old when he did it. So it's basically 45-minute walk for an 80-year-old person in one direction or another from a road or a parking lot somewhere in 5 states.
Kind of reminds me of like the Shawshank Redemption,
right?
Where he's got to go walk that fence. It's underneath a tree, underneath a rock that doesn't belong.
I've never been to any of those states, right? I've never been to like a mountain, any kind of mountain like that. You know what I mean? And I think that just I'm really intrigued by this because you don't hear about shit like this in this day and age. Like,
do you want to go?
I mean, I do kind of want to go. Yeah,
I do.
I'm not gonna go, but I would love to figure this out. Like,
Let's take a week vacation all together. Let's go. Split it.
Well, my thing is that honestly, you laughed at the word "wang" earlier in the show, and I don't know if this group of people, including myself, because I'm like generally a stupid person as well as you, and like I don't think that I could figure this out or know anybody that could figure this out. It's been out there since 2010 and nobody's figured it out. So I just think it's absolutely crazy that 4 people have died trying to find this thing, and it's real, according to this guy. I just thought it was interesting.
Do they have metal detectors?
What? Where?
When they're looking.
I don't know. I would assume so.
I would hope so.
I mean, either that or they're absolute amateurs. I mean, no disrespect to the guy who died, but he wasn't even close. Right? Damn shame, yeah. 2 kids. He had 2 kids. You believe that? Treasure hunting in America, 2018.
Kind of reminds me of the movie Without a Paddle.
Right? Just like going on an adventure. I'll be back.
Looking for D.B. Cooper's stash of money.
All right. Late review. Here we go. I know it's a little late, but...
You're just hearing about this?
Can't believe I'm just hearing
Why didn't I know about this sooner?
All right, I'll go first this week. Late review. I did Rhapsody's newest album, Layla's Wisdom. It was nominated for Album of the Year with Jay-Z, Kendrick Lamar, Lorde, Bruno Mars. I listened to it when it came out, but it was just like a brief run through. I don't remember what else came out around that time, but I just kind of skipped over this. And I listened to it in depth this week a couple times, and it's just wonderful. You guys are raising boys, but you just had a baby girl. If parents out there, I'm telling you, if you are raising a girl and that girl is getting into hip hop and in any capacity, show them Rhapsody. She's just super talented, like super duper talented, very, very lyrical, but just really humble. It's, there's no Nicki Minaj type no Cardi B type, my pussy is this good and I fuck these dudes. It's like not about that at all. It's just empowering music. A lot of this album was produced by Ninth Wonder, and it's really just a fantastic star-studded affair. Kendrick Lamar's on there, Anderson .Paak, Black Thought, BJ the Chicago Kid, Busta Rhymes. It's incredible. I give it the strongest 8 possible. 8.9.
Okay.
Check it out. It's really good. It's really good. Kev.
So, the winner of the T-shirt, Might Be News T-shirt.
Oh,
we'll never do this again.
Listen, we gotta figure out a better way to do this. I'm super thankful for all of our listeners, but they're not the most active listeners on social media with us.
Not at all.
And it's really tough because all we want to do is give you free shit for listening to the show because we really appreciate you listening to us and checking us out. I've noticed that statistically on our page that most of our plays come on Monday. Like there's people that are waiting for this show to come out and are generally excited for it. And I really think that is spectacular. So we want to give you a T-shirt. So we just need to figure out how to make this easier. And while you do your late review I'm going to think about it.
Okay. But the winner of the T-shirt, I made my post, and I had a couple to choose from. A couple. But made my post, and Brad Wiley, somebody that I work with, he commented on it, and he suggested Notorious B.I.G., Ready to Die. Love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great album.
Wow.
I mean, I actually
give it a 7.
I actually listened to it while I was watching the Flyers game. I was in between songs cheering and crying because the Flyers play sloppy, but they still win. But anyways, I mean, to the classic known for this album, Big Papa and Juicy, not my favorite songs, but Give Me the Loot, Machine Gun Funk, Warning, Ready to Die, One More Chance, Juicy, like I said, Big Papa, Respect. Respect is that shit. I dig that song. But this is Biggie's, like, I would say, one of Biggie's biggest albums.
Oh,
period.
Absolutely. Oh,
period.
Yeah, absolutely. He blew up with Ready to Die.
Period.
Machine Gun Funk is one of the greatest songs ever recorded.
You think so?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Really?
I love that song.
Okay.
But for real, my two favorite Biggie songs aren't on that album. Party and Bullshit is my favorite for sure. And Hypnotize.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I could not see you going with Hypnotize.
That beat is so diabolical, it's not even fun. I love that song.
As much as you aren't mainstream music, I would see you steering away from Hypnotized. But I have to and will give this an album a 10. I mean, it is.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
it is.
yeah,
you can't
You have
not
to.
give this album a 10.
Wow, Kev.
It's an instant classic.
I was very much hoping you were going to say 10 because I would just end the episode if you even said 9. Honestly.
You can't not give Ready to Die a 10.
I totally agree. 100%. Great
high
review.
five. High
Great
five.
review. That was the best part of the episode for you.
Thanks.
I'm just going to go home then. I'm done.
What do you got, Danny? Did you review?
I started to review Outcast.
Oh,
But
hip hop episode.
I'm working a midnight shift and everything is just crazy. Everything's running together. I told you guys I felt the least prepared for this episode. So I decided to review a movie that I watched this week. That was one of my, I'd say classic, one of my top favorites, and it was Revenge of the Nerds.
Wow, it's a good one.
It's like a guilty pleasure of mine. Just popped. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. Just one of those movies that I can sit down and rewatch over and over and over again and still laugh at some of the just the corny, stupid parts of it, and just a fun movie that I enjoy. I'm gonna give it a good 7. I'm not gonna put it up there as like an instant classic because it's not. But
It's not like Happy
movie.
Gilmore
Yeah.
esque, Step Brothers esque. You know what? I haven't seen that movie in a long time, and I remember watching it as a kid and loving it.
I don't like the Revenge of the Nerds 2 or there's another one after that, I believe.
Yeah, how many were there?
I'm not
Like
sure.
3 or
but
something?
The original is just like the end part where they're doing the talent show and they win the whole thing. It's just such a fun movie.
It's a good one. Good job, guys. Kev, do you have This Week in History?
February 26, 1993, a bomb exploded at the World Trade Center in New York. Blast killed 6 people and injured more than 1,000. February 27th, 2003, Fred Rogers of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood died.
Oh.
February 28th, 1983, the final episode of MASH aired, was the most watched televised program in history. March 2nd, 1962, Philadelphia Warriors' Wilt Chamberlain scored an NBA record of over 100 points in one game. And March 3rd, 1931, the Star-Spangled Banner became the national anthem.
Wow.
Or was adopted as the national anthem.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yo, did you know that Tom Hanks is going to play Mr. Rogers in a movie coming up?
Is he really?
Yeah. That might be news to you.
It's news to me.
Real quick, just something to add to that This Week in History.
Yeah.
On February 23rd, 1999, The Roots released their classic album, Things Fall Apart.
Yeah, I saw you post that on Facebook.
Yeah, Dynamite. That's my favorite track. I love that whole album. It's early Roots albums are just so just chill. Like they're just so relaxed.
You know what's
Awesome.
better than Dynamite?
What?
Dynamite by Rhymefest.
It's a good song too. I don't know if it's better though. So do some homework. Go check out some cool shit. Thank you for listening to Might Be News. Oh, I told you I was going to figure out this thing. So, all right, I made a Facebook post asking to get Kev a suggestion for late review. I posted it on my personal page. Taylor Cooper, Kev, and Danny have shared it, but I also posted something about it on our Twitter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post it on our Might Be News page. So if you're listening and you want to do this and we're not friends on Facebook or you're not friends with one of my co-hosts on Facebook, go to our Facebook or Twitter, which is at Might Be News 24/7. That's Might Be News 247. Go there, look for the status, comment on it. I'm going to share it every day this week. Suggestions kind of need to be in by like Wednesday, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Kev?
Yes.
All right. We want to give you something for free. When you comment and you make a pick, and if Kev picks your pick, you win something, whether it's a T-shirt, koozie, something. Might Be News. The reviews on these shirts are incredible. Everybody just loves these shirts. The shirts are magnificent. I mean, they go with literally any outfit. You will stand out in the room as probably the coolest person there. So I'm just letting you know, you want to win this shirt. Follow us on Might Be News 24/7 at Twitter. Say peace out, Kev.
See ya.
Peace out, Danny.
Peace out.
Thanks a lot, guys, for listening. Again, for real, our appreciation, that's what we want to do. We want to give you guys prizes because that shit's awesome. You guys are awesome for listening to us. We'll talk to you next week.